There we go. I thought, hold on, let me do one more thing. Um, okay. I thought that we would do some back bends today. I feel as though back bends should be kind of a daily practice, at least one or two, which we do every time we step onto our mat. But there's something really beautiful about counterbalancing all of the slouch that tends to be in our bodies for so many reasons, not just the physicality of, being on phones and being on computers and being in cars, but also the weight of our emotional selves sometimes can pull that heart energy down a little bit. So today we're going to try to find a little buoyancy in our heart to keep us light and spacious so that we can breathe well and feel well. So let's go ahead and sit up straight and tall and take a moment to drop your awareness. And when you think of back bends, does it make you feel happy, or does it make you feel like, oh, is she going to make me do a full wheel pose? So no, I'm not going to make you do a full wheel pose. I never make you do anything. But certainly the possibilities are kind of endless when it comes to back bends. There's restorative back bends, there's active back bends, there's mobile breathing back bends. So know that the repertoire is available to you no matter what your capacity is today. All right, so let's start even just here. As we sit, let's start with just a little bit of a cat-cow seated. So round the spine, roll back a little bit, tuck your chin, and then open the chest and lift the heart. Maybe lift your chin, squeeze the shoulder blades, and just kind of go back and forth with already starting to have a little bit of mobility in our spine, in particular, your thoracic spine. Let's sit for a moment. We're going to bring our hands out like a cactus. And you don't have to be like this. So if it bothers your shoulders in any way, you can bring your arms straight out. I'm kind of close to the screen. You can have your palms up if that feels more comfortable. So whatever feels good to you anywhere along that path. And just hug the shoulder blades a little bit toward each other. Feel that awakening of the back of the body. And then reach your arms all the way up if that's comfortable. And then exhale. One more time. So let's go past 90 degrees here. So instead of just having your elbows out at your shoulder height, drop them down and feel the back of your body work. And then relax. And then shrug your shoulders, just move your head around, whatever feels good. Now, of course, we haven't done much to mobilize our lumbar spine, but just notice if there's a shift or a change in how you're able to sit just by doing those simple actions. All right, now let's discover that your posture can support your breath. So as you have an open, spacious heart, let's see if we can bring that openness into the breath. Marvel at how mobile your rib cage is. These are bones. Bones, we don't usually think of bones as being very pliable and mobile. So let's enjoy our rib cage and how flexible it is. And enjoy how mobile the diaphragm is as well. So feel the diaphragm move down into the abdominal realms and rebound up. If you tend to be a very high and tight breather, where you tend to breathe in like this, where you breathe up, let's see what we can do to keep your neck and shoulders as relaxed as you can, so you can bobble them about to give them some cueing that all is well and they don't need to strain. Melt through your face, melt through the base of your skull, Imagine all the skin on the back of your neck and the back of your shoulders just softly descending downward. Let's just have a slight energetic visualization of from your pubic bone as you breathe in. Imagine this rising tide of energy up through the center of your body. And as you exhale over your head and let that energy drop down from the base, from the top of your head down through your spine to the tip of your tail. And then circle it back through the front of the body, upward as you inhale, over the head, downward as you exhale. So imagine that you are part of, a loop that is continual, just like all circles. There's no beginning and no end. Now, sometimes the challenge of visualizing this is that it sometimes can make you feel like you have to breathe up, right? So that your chest and your shoulders and everything have to go up when you inhale. So see if you can relax your neck and shoulders, resist the urge to pull up on the breath. It's just an energetic lift as you inhale. You can kind of close that circuit even more if you bring your tongue to rest gently at the roof of your mouth behind your teeth. Try not to press your tongue. It's just a gentle, gentle connection. You might have already been doing it and not even were aware that your tongue was nestled at the roof of your mouth. Right behind your teeth. Feel the softness and spaciousness across your face. Imagine your collarbones fanning out on your in-breath. As you bring your hands to your heart, let's try not to collapse as we kind of surrender forward. So see if you can bow your head, but maintain that spaciousness. Offer an intention, what's here, what do you need? All right, let's release the hands and find our way onto our back on your mat. Okay, so as you stretch and begin to lengthen your body, this is a beautiful place to kind of feel into the sides of your body. And notice, we're going to do a lot of rib cage mobilization today. So already feel what it feels like to let your side bodies open. So you can stretch your arms overhead, reach one side and reach the other side, and be aware of your hips. You can let one hip slide up and then the other hip slide up. How's your breath? All right, and then bring your knees into your chest and give a hug. You can rock a little bit, swaying from side to side. All right, let's circle the knees, go in one direction, couple, 3 times. Go in the other direction, couple, 3 times. And then going in the third direction of your knees coming out and your knees going in. And just feel into your lumbar spine. Notice the changing shape of your lumbar spine as you bring your knees out. As you bring the knees in, just notice how the femur bones and the pelvis and the spine interrelate with each other. Stay inside your breath. All right, right knee comes in, left leg is long on the ground. Feel that sense of reach, wiggle your toes, and stretch your ankles, whatever feels good to wake up that lower bit of your body. And then other leg, squeeze your left knee in, right leg long on the ground, and feel your feet move. So open things up, get your ankles to be as mobile as possible. The toes, wiggle them as much as you can. All right, and then both knees back in toward the chest. Have a little bit of a rock. And then as you're ready, grab onto your feet and come into happy baby. You don't have to go into your deepest compression of your spine here. Just a nice gentle pose and rock a little bit left and right. Just loosening up the lumbar spine, whatever place is comfortable for you. All right, lift your legs straight up, arms overhead. Feel that extension of the spine. Flex and point your toes while you're here. Notice your low back. So maybe you feel that it's not compressing into the ground, that you have a natural curve in there. Feel the work that has to happen in your core, in your ribs, in your back body to hold you here. All right, and then knees in, chin up. Exhale. Inhale, get spacious and big and wide. Open your body. Exhale. Draw it in, knees and chin up. One more time. Spread out like a star on the ground. And then exhale and draw your knees in and chin up. Relax your head down. Put your left foot on the ground. Right thigh over left thigh. Draw knees in. Just a little awakening in the hips. Take advantage of having a moment to rest your head and shoulders fully on the ground. A full breath. Exhale it all the way out. Okay, change your legs. Right foot comes down on the ground. Left thigh over right thigh. Knees towards chest. Heaviness in your head and shoulders. Just a little awakening in the hips. Breathe here. Great, and then reach out again. A big open star. Exhale, knees up, and turn that into a roll over onto your side. And come up onto your hands and your knees. Now take your time to get on your mat, have your blocks close by. Okay. And once you have yourself on all fours, let's start with some cat-cows. Now remember to feed yourself the sensation of yielding, all those subtleties of embodiment that we have been practicing for a long time. See if you can always remember to it's not just about, okay, what is the movement doing, but it's also about the quality of your sensation. So as you move through some cat-cows, notice where your weight is going, notice where your breath is going, and notice where your thoughts are going. So let's pause in a rounded spine, so that scared cat vibe, and just see if you can get each vertebrae to kind of open up in the back of the body. And then a neutral spine, and then do the same with the old cow. Okay, so pause here for a moment, lift your tail, feel the back muscles strengthen, chin up. And then neutral. Feel free to move your spine any way you want. So you can wag your tail from side to side. You can do some circling, anything that feels really good for your body. Just loosening up, warming up the spine. How's your breath? And as you're ready, settle back into child's pose. Walk the hands forward. Feel that stretch across your armpits, your ribs, your shoulders. Relax your neck. And then walk your hands over to one side, feeling that stretch through the side of your body, connect from your finger pads all the way down to your sit bone. Keep your neck as neutral as you can.
Let your breath filter through your body. Okay, over to the other side, feeling that awakening and opening in your ribs, in your armpit, in your shoulder, all the way down to your sit bones. Feel the pads of your fingers move into the earth. And then come back to center. Come back up onto all fours. Swish the spine about again. And then we're going to do some rib cage rolling. So chest moves down to the ground and then over to the left and then up toward the sky and over to the right and down. So put yourself inside a cylinder, paint the inside of the cylinder with your rib cage. What part would you be missing? So if you're really inside a tube and you were trying to paint the inner tube, where do you think the lack of paint would land in that cylinder? So pay attention to those places in your body. Notice your yield in your hands and your knees. Notice your breath. Go ahead and switch directions. Go the other way. Enjoy this. So just some nice mobility in the spine and in the ribs, sternum, collarbones, and shoulder blades. How's your breathing? Back towards child's pose again. And let's just notice where the breath easily goes. So see if you can feel the breath kind of filling up the whole backside of your body. Your back ribs can open, your sacrum can open, your low back can open. The breath is just buoyant in the back of your body. And come up onto all fours again. Left arm lifting to the sky. Exhale and slide that shoulder down. Feel now the rotation in your spine and the change of position in your rib cage here. Breathe into what you're feeling. Keep your neck as neutral as you can. Inhale, reach that arm all the way back up. Hand comes down onto the ground. Second side, lifting that arm to the sky. Exhale and sliding that arm underneath. Gaze toward the floor. So there's ease in your posture, ease in your neck. Breathe into where you feel your body move and find any little nook and cranny that you can just find buoyancy and breath moving there. All right, inhale, arm coming up to the sky again, hand comes down onto the ground again, back to child's pose. Settle your hips back toward the heels. Enjoy the freedom that you're starting to cultivate in the ribs and spine. All right, and then find dog pose when you're ready. Curl the toes under and reach yourself up off the ground. So hands and feet are yielding. Give your weight and take some time. Explore. You can pedal your feet, maybe move your hands around, rock your head, move your hips. So try to let your mobility and movement here be all about kind of getting to know your body, feeling your way into your body. How's your breath? And then when you're ready, step forward, Uttanasana, fold. Really let your neck be as neutral and passive as you can. Let your knees bend as much as you want. Interlace your hands around the base of your skull and just slight tuck of your chin toward chest. And then release that hold, put your hands on blocks or on your legs and come to a halfway lift. All right, so just like we pedaled in dog pose, let's pedal here for a moment. Bend one knee, stretch the other heel down, open up the bottom of your feet, your calves, your hamstrings, put your blocks anywhere that's comfortable. Sometimes higher can give you a lot of space in your spine. Root into the four corners of your feet well, drop down, root to rise, feeling the femur bones lift and draw back. And then exhale, melt again, knees bend, head relaxes down, soften. And then your seat goes down and rise on up. Okay, so shake out your hands, shake out your arms, wiggle your body, bounce your body, and just let anything kind of, let your spine receive, some of that vibration from the earth. So, when we bounce, and you don't have to jump, but you can jump, okay? There's a lot of feedback that goes through our hips, our pelvis, our spine when we're doing this. Full breaths. And then when you're ready, find your stillness. Soften the knees, let them unlock a little bit. Feel that your feet are grounded and that you're supported by the earth. Can you feel that your weight is efficiently over your feet? Inhale, lift your arms all the way up. Let's lean back here a little bit, just a little bit. Feel that sense of aliveness in the back of your body. Now let's cactus the arms just like we did when we were sitting. And then round in, tuck your chin toward your chest. Inhale, arms come back up. Interlace your fingers, index fingers pointing straight up toward the sky. Everything else is interlaced. And then reach upward, look upward. So if you can climb higher to the sky. And from that lengthened space, a teeny bit of a lean back, just a teeny bit. You can let your head come forward if it's too much. Have your ears in between your shoulders. Okay. And then relax and release your hands down. Give your hands a shake. And then interlace your hands, maybe the weird way if you feel like it. Open up your chest and come forward. Let your shoulders relax. You can take your feet as wide as you want. Bend your knees. Bobble your head. Breathing deep. Full inhale. Full exhale. All right, let's release the arms. Grab onto your elbows with your hands and just have that sense of letting there be just a little bit of tug with gravity. Let your neck relax. Feel your ribs kind of shimmy away from your hips or from your pelvis. All right, and then release your hands on blocks or legs, half lift. Lengthen the spine again. Melt and fold. Step your left foot back. Right foot is coming forward to a lunge. Place your back knee on the ground. Put a blanket underneath it if you need to. And if you don't want to have your knee on the ground, that's fine. You can stay in a lunge. Either uncurl your toes or lay your foot flat, whichever feels comfortable for your body. And just enjoy some awakening of your hip flexors. Rising up with both arms, press your front foot into the ground. Reaching the arms to the sky. We're going to take our right hand on our right thigh and reach up to the corner of the ceiling. So we're stretching through the left side. Twist that. Bring your left elbow to the outside of the knee or left forearm on your knee. And let's twist to the side. Open your collarbones. Try not to collapse the heart. See if you can draw the shoulder blades together and fan the collarbones wide. Hug to the inner thighs to the midline. Feel your legs support you. And then release. Hands come down. Lift your back knee up off the ground. Okay. Some bending and straightening of that front knee. Let's start to integrate moving and breathing. All right, and then as you feel ready, ground yourself into your lunge, rise up, crescent lunge. Arms can go anywhere. They don't have to be up high. Maybe you want to just open them big and wide. Maybe you'd rather have them out to the side or even interlaced behind you. So choose a pathway that makes you feel open and free. Breathe the heart, breathe the heart. See if you can feel that same energetic loop of the inhale lifting up through the front body and the exhale descending through the back body. All right, and then we're gonna reach the hands down onto the ground. Back foot comes forward, fold. Let your neck be as neutral and soft as you can. A halfway lift, the spine grows. Melt again. Step your other foot back. So now our left foot is forward, right foot is back, knee down onto the ground. Leave it up if it's uncomfortable for you. Feel that opening of the hip flexors of this back leg. You can come up high on your blocks or hands low on the ground, whichever feels good. A big, beautiful breath. Okay, let's bring both arms up to the sky, reaching and lengthening. And then we're going to take one hand, left hand on your left thigh, reach that right arm up and over to the left. Cross the arm, you can take the forearm on your knee or thigh, or go further and take your elbow to the outside of the knee. Whichever is comfortable. Feel the extension through your body. Open the collarbones up, fan them wide. Feel the stability of your legs. Press your front heel into the ground. Feel your glutes work. Feel your inner thighs work. How's the beautiful breath? Okay, hands come back down onto the blocks, and let's bend and straighten the front knee. Take your time, breathe and move. Round yourself, feel the roots of your feet drop down, and then rise on up to a crescent lunge. Remember, the arms do not have to be straight up, they can be anywhere. Give yourself the opportunity to welcome in the open heart, the big open space. See if you can get the feeling that you're available. So your hands can be wide, you're available, your heart is available. Any variations that serve. All right, hands come down onto the earth. Step back to dog pose. Readjust till you feel that place of symmetry in the body. Feel the femur bones lift up and back. The neck is neutral and passive. Breathe your way here. Come forward into a plank. Steady. Now we get to integrate. So feel that shrink wrap toward the center line. Breathe deep. Yield. Feel your breath go under your armpits, out through your side ribs. Find the ground when you're ready. The shoulders roll. Unstick, get the glue gone from your shoulder blades. Inhale, cobra pose. The chest starts to open. Exhale, and release back down. Take your arms out in front of you wide. Inhale and lengthen here. It's a different level of support, so feel into that. Reach your legs. And when you're ready, melt and fold. Roll over onto your right side. Bend your knees, bend your hips, grab onto your left ankle and stretch. Just opening up your quads here. Big breath in. Big breath out. Feel that sense of ease across your neck. Let your head rest. Try to keep your knee in line with your hip instead of lifting it high in the sky. See if you can still find that rhythm of breathing where we're lifting up from the pelvis to the crown, in the front body, and descending from your crown to your tail on your exhales. Let's relax. Come on to your back. Roll over onto your second side and lengthen a little bit through your quads here. All right, so just enjoy. So we're gonna obviously do a little work to strengthen your quads, but for right now, let's just open them. Knee moves away from hip. Try to keep your knee in line with your hips so you're not lifting your knee high to the sky. Feel that energetic lift through up through the front body, down through the back. Let's relax. Come on to your back, bring your knees to your chest. Put your feet on the ground. We're gonna lift up into a bridge. While we're here, open up through your chest. Okay, so climb onto the tops of your shoulders. Feet are grounding. So now we're working the quads at the same time as lengthening them. See if you can feel the pelvis lift in a comfortable way. The back of the neck has some weight to your, the back of your head has some weight so your neck is not compressing. Four corners of feet. Breathe into the whole front body. And then relax. Melt your hips back down onto the ground. Roll over onto your side and come back up onto all fours. From here, take your right leg straight back behind you, your left arm out in front of you, and start to integrate. So there's a lot of work in your glutes, a lot of work in your hamstrings, a lot of work through the back of your body. Breathing deeply. Let's start to move. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow and knee come underneath. Once more, inhale out. Exhale in. Once you're done, place that hand and knee down onto the ground and let's find the second side. Left leg up, right arm up, out in front of you. Thumb up, toes down. Integrate through your glutes, your core. Find that hugging of front and back body. Are you still breathing? Let's start to move. Extend on your inhale. And then exhale. Draw it in. Inhale, reach it out. Exhale. Draw it in. Place your hand and knee down, back onto the ground, lift to dog. Extend through your spine. Feel your glutes stretch open here, your hamstrings too. Melt through your skull. Beautiful open breath. Feel the rib cage expand. All right, walk your feet forward. Come into Uttanasana. Relax your neck. Seat down, rise up. Trace down through the center. Pause here for a moment. Okay. Right foot forward when you're ready. Left foot back. This time our heel is going to come down onto the ground. Let's bring our arms back to begin and lean forward. Stretch your shoulders away from your crown. Palms facing the ground. Reach your arms, fingertips pulling away from shoulders. Feel your core, feel your glutes. And then we're going to bring our arms forward. Interlace your hands like we did earlier. Index fingers pointing up. If you want to tip your head back, you can, or you can keep your ears between your arms. Ground into Virabhadrasana 1. Root into the back foot. Give yourself support with that back leg. Try not to hyperextend the knee. Breathing into the big lift and open heart. And then relax and bring your hands down. Back foot comes forward, fold. A halfway lift. Spine is spacious. Exhale and melt. Step your right foot back. Heel plants down onto the ground. Start with your body low. Palms facing the ground. Fingertips reaching back behind you. Feel the heads of the arm bones lift away from the ground. Collarbones wide. Start to rise up, interlace your fingers the weird way. Arms coming up. Maybe your head tilts back. Maybe it stays in between your arms. Ground your feet. Track that front knee right over your ankle. Feel the work of the back leg. Reach upward with your heart. Feel your back body do some work here. Reach your hands back down onto the ground. Dog pose. Big breath. Forward into a plank when you feel ready. Integrate. Knees come down onto the ground. Find the ground. All right, so stabilize your back. See if you can lift your pubic bone toward your navel. And it's the tendency is to want to just squeeze your glutes tight. And of course, we're going to work with our glutes, but we don't want them to be preventative of breath or of movement. So a lot of times we rely on our glutes to protect our back instead of our core. So let's practice this. Put your hands underneath your forehead for a moment and relax your core completely. And then let's lift your left leg using your glutes, no core. And you can go really high, but there's a lot of compression in the low back. Put that foot back down. Okay. Now find that loop of lifting your front body, pubic bone lifting to navel, integrate the core of you. Maintain that as you start to engage your glutes and lift your leg. And if you're integrating your deep core, you're not going to be able to lift your leg as high. Your glutes are going to have to work strongly, and your low back's going to be nice and spacious. So just relax and melt that leg down. So let's try not to sacrifice stability for mobility. Okay, so when we come into back bends, it's less about that big, huge arc and more about how can I stabilize my spine and be open at the same time. So let's practice it on the other leg. Find your breath. When you lift your leg, no core, and just feel your back, feel the compression in your lumbar spine, the overworking of the glutes. And then relax. And by overworking, I mean imbalance, that they're the only muscles working. Okay, now let's stabilize. Pubic bone toward navel. Feel your transverse abdominis. You have that cylinder of support. And then go ahead and lift the leg without losing that support. And you'll notice you don't go very far, but your back is nice and stable, that there's not a lot of compression in the lumbar spine. And your glutes have to work hard for this pose, but they're married to your core instead of only working alone. And then let's release and melt. Come up onto all fours, move the spine about. And then we're going to walk our hands forward and come into puppy pose. So our hips stay high. Bring your chest toward the floor. Maybe your head comes down, maybe it doesn't. And notice if you're just collapsing. See if you can lift under your armpit and reach your thigh bones back. So that you have that strength in the back body while you're opening the thoracic spine. Okay. All right, and then come forward onto all fours, back to child's pose. Settle the hips toward the heels for a moment and breathe. All right, we're going to come up onto your shins and bring your right foot forward. Now, this isn't for everybody, so you can stand up and do a quad stretch standing if your hip flexors or knee or something does not like this. Okay, so we're going to come into a deep lunge. You can have your left hand on a block if you want to have a little height, or you can have it on the ground, whichever feels good to you. We're going to reach back with the right arm and pick up your left foot with the right arm. Open up your chest, a little bit of a twist, hug to the inner thighs to the midline. If you can't do that for your knees or whatever, you can come stand, you can always hold something and just come to a quad stretch here. Find your breath no matter which posture you're doing. We're moving our breath through us, especially if you're on the ground. Stabilize, use your inner thighs, hug your front heel and back knee toward each other. And then release that. Come back up, walk your back foot forward, let things come to neutral. If you're standing, you can just move to the second side when you're ready. Otherwise, we bring our knee down. Now our right knee is down on the ground, left foot is forward. Find your breath. Sometimes a little extra support, like a blanket underneath your knee, can be very helpful. When you do this, try to be on your thigh, so the weight is not on your kneecap. And the tendency often is to fall out to the side, to let your knee kind of splay out and sink. Resist that. Keep your knee in line with your hip. Find that resistance of hugging your front heel and back knee toward each other and hugging your inner thighs to the midline. Find your breath. You can always do this with a strap around your ankle as well if you can't quite reach your foot. Okay, release. Lift that back knee up off the ground and then bring your back foot forward. Relax. Rising on up. Bringing the arms to the sky, a big open chest. Let's cactus open the arms and then release. And give the hands a shake. Okay, so just notice that's a lot of opening for your hip flexors. So feel free to, wiggle them about or jump, whatever is going to help you find ease. A deep full inhale. A deep full exhale. Right, reaching the arms up to the sky, fold forward. Halfway lift, melt to come down. Find a plank. You can find a dog first if you want. Then come forward, integrating into the center, and then reaching to the ground as you're ready. You can do a different back bend if you'd like. Otherwise, grab onto your feet and notice, or a strap around your ankles, and notice if your knees want to splay out. Keep them in line with your hips. Remember that core work we did earlier. Lift pubic bone, find that energetic line lifting up through the front body and down the back body. Inhale and rise up. Kick your feet, open your chest. Feel your diaphragm. Move well with your diaphragm. Let your diaphragm move your body up and move your body down a little bit. So you're actually mobile and free while you're in this pose. Right, and then relax. Turn your head to one side and windshield wiper your knees left and right. Turn your head the other way. Still moving your feet. All right, scoot over to the right side of your mat. Bring your left knee up toward your chest. Move your blocks out of the way. Just feel the release in your spine. And then we're going to cross our right arm to the left and twist open. Be very gentle with this. Let your knee leave the floor. Breathe. Try not to make it an overly big twist. Just a nice, gentle twist. Feel your chest open and broaden. Okay, come back around. Scoot over to the left side. Bring your right knee up toward your chest. Torso is low. When you're ready, take the left arm over to the right and twist open onto your back. Okay, let the knee leave the floor. You won't go all the way to your back, but just moving in that direction. Feel the openness across your pecs. Breathing into the body. Let the head get heavy. And relax. Come up onto all fours and move the spine about. So you can circle your pelvis, whatever feels good. We're going to come into pigeon pose or reverse pigeon pose. So your choice of how you want to open up your hip. Right leg is first. So either your right foot on your left knee or your right leg forward for pigeon pose. Once you get situated in your hips, if you're in pigeon pose, lengthen your spine. You can support your head with your hands, the floor, or a block. If you're on your back, it might feel really nice to put your foot on a wall or a piece of furniture so that you don't have to use your arms to grab your legs. This might be soothing for your spine after the back bend. Just let your hip open. I don't know what the magic is about opening your hips that helps your back release, but it's there. So let's just enjoy. Full inhales, full exhales. When you already come back up and find your way to the second side. If you're in pigeon pose, you can dog pose in between. If you're on your back, you can just switch your legs. You can just change sides, however feels good. Make sure you have enough support. So I always take a blanket underneath my sit bone and thigh, maybe just under your sit bone, but be mindful to protect your joints. So we don't want to overstrain the SI joint or the knee joint in particular, but also your ankle, your hip, and your spine. So feel into the length of the pose. Melt what you can. And diaphragm should be easy and free. Sit bones wide. Shoulders and head melty. Move your breath. Come on up. Let's find your way out of the posture, whatever posture you were in. We're all gonna come on to, you can do a dog pose if you'd like to just kind of neutralize your spine. And if you're doing that, that's great. And if you're not, just come on to your back. And we're going to, now we get to bring our knees to our chest. Okay, so sometimes after back bends, it's very healthy to not immediately go into a deep forward bend, but to twist and open your hips first, and then come into some forward folding. Now, just relax for a moment. Feel your knees compress. Let your head get heavy. When you feel ready, you can stay right where you are, or you can go a little deeper into happy baby pose. So just find what feels good to your body. You can also, if you feel so inclined, do some rocking plow, where you're kind of rocking up and then rocking back. You can even pause in plow pose or just put your knees on your head. Any of these are options. Knees to chest, happy baby pose, or rocking plow. Pause for a moment. Put your feet on the ground. Neutral spine. Big breaths. And we'll take a twist to each side. Scoot your hips to the right, knees come up and drop them left. A big breath, melt your shoulders. Inhale, lift your knees, scoot them over the other way, and drop your knees down. Find your breath. Heavy head. Come back. We're gonna grab your block and a strap. And if you don't have a strap, it's okay. You can even use, a bathrobe strap or a scarf. We're gonna put a block between our thighs, and then we're gonna take the strap around our thighs. And if you don't have a yoga strap, it's totally fine, but if you happen to have one, you can use your yoga strap, okay? And, just tie a knot if you need to, or do the strap proper through the D-ring. Okay, so whatever way you're going about it, you want to have some snugness on the strap. I mean, not so much where you're cutting off circulation to, your outer legs. You don't want to feel like you're pinching. You want to have that sense that there's this stability, that there's a hugging, that the strap and the block together can support your legs. And then once you have that, we're just going to rest here for a moment. So it's a little bit different. Constructive rest position is a little bit different with the strap, but this is a great alternative, especially if you don't have, a 10-foot yoga strap, which you really need a long strap to do the full constructive rest. So once you're here, breathe. Okay, just breathe your way into your back, into your diaphragm, into your pelvic floor. Feel the weight of your femur bones kind of nestle into the hip joints. Feel the weight of your head get heavy on the ground, and your shoulders too. And all this opening across our heart space, the back bends that we've done, the support of the back body. See if you can just melt into that space now where the chest is naturally open and free instead of us having to force. So see if there's an imprint of some space. Now, constructive rest is a really good position if you're having back trouble, if you're, having a back spasm or just difficulty with your lumbar spine. And you can stay like this for Shavasana, or at any moment you can we take the block and the strap away. I would recommend a little bit of support underneath your knees for Shavasana, maybe 2 blocks stacked up lengthwise next to each other with a blanket over top. You can put your calves up on a piece of furniture if you'd like. So as you transition to Shavasana, you can for sure stay in constructive rest, or if you'd feel more comfortable, choose a different pathway. Make sure you're warm. As you settle and feel the weight of your bones. You feel your breath moving in your body. Consciously release your skull into the ground. Soften all the muscles around your face. Free up your belly and let yourself breathe. As you feel ready, you can start to move your body in little bits. Eventually find your way onto your side. Come up to sit as you feel ready. Let's feel the open heart, sense of space. See if you can invite in. So with that upward lift, what can you connect with? What kind of elevation does the heart space have? Let's offer an intention to send our heart energy to someone, anyone, everyone, whatever feels right for you right now. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.